My phone buzzed during the Johnson pitch meeting. I glanced down and saw my cousin Jessica's name flashing across the screen. I sent it to voicemail. We were in the middle of presenting a six-figure campaign to our biggest potential client, and I couldn't take personal calls. But then she called again. And again. "I'm so sorry," I whispered to my team, stepping out of the conference room. "Family emergency." I answered on the fourth ring. "Jessica, I'm in a meeting, can I call you back?" "Where the hell are you, Sarah?" Her voice was shrill, almost hysterical. "Everyone's asking about you." This is so typical. So incredibly typical of you. I pressed the phone closer to my ear, confused. "What are you talking about? Where am I supposed to be?" "My baby shower. It started an hour ago. I have 100 people here asking where you are. And I look like an idiot telling them my own cousin couldn't be bothered to show up." The words hit me like cold water. I stood frozen in the hallway outside the conference room, my mind racing. "Jessica. What baby shower? What are you talking about?" There was a sharp intake of breath on the other end. "Don't play dumb with me. You're just making this worse." "I'm not playing dumb. Jessica, I didn't even know you were pregnant." Silence. Then, in a voice dripping with sarcasm, "Right? Sure. You didn't know. Even though I've been posting about it for months. I haven't seen any posts. I swear. I had no idea." "Whatever, Sarah. I should have known you'd find some excuse. You know what? Don't even bother coming. You've already embarrassed me enough." The line went dead. I stared at my phone, my hands shaking. Through the glass wall of the conference room, I could see my colleagues waiting, the client checking his watch. I'd worked 6 months on this pitch. But all I could think about was Jessica's voice, that mixture of anger and something else. Hurt, maybe. I texted my boss that I had a family emergency and left the building. Jessica and I used to be close. Growing up, we were more like sisters than cousins. She was only 2 years older than me, and we lived 3 blocks apart in suburban Connecticut. We shared everything: clothes, secrets, dreams about our futures. She wanted to get married young and have lots of kids. I wanted to move to New York and work in advertising. We never judged each other's dreams. At least, not back then. Things started changing after college. I got accepted into a competitive grad program at NYU. Jessica married her high school boyfriend, Derek, and became a realtor in our hometown. We saw each other less, but we still talked. Still did holidays together. Still tagged each other in dumb memes. But somewhere along the way, things shifted. The conversations became shorter. The memes stopped. Family dinners got awkward. I couldn't pinpoint exactly when it happened, but there was this distance between us now, like a wall I didn't know how to climb. I pulled into my apartment parking garage and immediately opened Instagram. Jessica's profile loaded. The last post I could see was from 8 months ago, a sunset photo with some generic caption about gratitude. I scrolled down. Nothing about a pregnancy. Nothing about a baby shower. Then it hit me. I clicked on her profile picture to see if I could view her stories. No content available. My stomach dropped. I went back to her main profile and looked closer. The follower count seemed lower than I remembered. I clicked on a mutual friend's profile and found their recent post, a photo from what was clearly a baby shower. Today, Jessica in a pink dress, glowing, surrounded by presents. The caption, "Celebrating baby Morgan. So blessed to share this day with Jess." I wasn't tagged. I zoomed in on the photo. There were at least 50 people there. Friends from high school. Family members. Even some people I didn't recognize. But I wasn't there. I felt sick. I called my best friend Rachel. "She blocked you," Rachel said matter-of-factly after I explained everything. "Or at least restricted you. That's why you can't see her pregnancy posts." But why would she do that? And then get mad at me for not knowing. Babe, that's some seriously manipulative behavior. She blocked you so you wouldn't know, then got to play the victim when you didn't show up. I wanted to disagree, but it made a horrible kind of sense. But why? I don't know. But you need to find out. 20 minutes later, my phone rang again. This time it was my Aunt Monica, Jessica's mother. "Sarah Marie, I am very disappointed in you." Her voice was tight with anger. "Your cousin needed you today, and you couldn't be bothered to show up." "Aunt Monica, I literally didn't know about the baby shower. I didn't even know she was pregnant. That's impossible. She's been posting about it for months. Don't lie to me. I'm not lying. She must have blocked me or something. I can't see any of her posts. A pause. That's ridiculous. Why would she block you? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Well, maybe if you spent less time focused on your career and more time on family, you'd be more involved in our lives. The words stung. Jessica tells me you're always too busy for family dinners. Too important now that you're in New York. That's not fair. I come home for every holiday. I've been working on a major project. There's always a project, Sarah. There's always something more important than family. Your cousin is starting her own family now, and instead of being happy for her, you're making excuses. I'm not making excuses. I'm telling you the truth. But Aunt Monica had already hung up. I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel. This didn't make sense. Jessica and I had our distance, sure, but this was deliberate. Calculated. I started digging. I logged into my old Facebook account that I barely used anymore. Jessica's profile there was still public. And there it was, months of pregnancy posts. Photos of ultrasounds, gender reveal party, baby registry links. All posted where I could technically see them, but knowing I never checked Facebook anymore. But the Instagram blocking was different. That was active. Intentional. I scrolled through the comments on her posts. Then I saw it. On a post from 3 weeks ago, someone had commented, "Is Sarah going to be at the shower?" Jessica's reply, "We invited her, but you know how Sarah is. Too focused on her career to care about family stuff. I doubt she'll come." My blood ran cold. She told people I was invited. She was setting me up to look bad. I kept scrolling. More comments, more of Jessica's subtle digs. Sarah's too busy being a big shot in New York. My cousin has more important things to do than baby showers. Some people prioritize work over family. She was painting me as this cold, career-obsessed person who didn't care about her. And everyone was believing it. I called Rachel back. She's been trashing me on social media, telling people I'm too self-absorbed to care about her pregnancy. What? That's insane. Sarah, you need to confront her about this. I can't just show up after she told me not to come. Why not? Call her bluff. Show everyone that you didn't know. I thought about the Johnson pitch I'd walked out on. The client we might lose. The 6 months of work potentially down the drain. All because of Jessica's drama. Something inside me snapped. You're right. I'm going. I drove the 2 hours back to Connecticut in a daze. I stopped at a baby boutique and bought a beautiful handmade quilt and a set of organic cotton onesies. If I was going to crash this party, I was going to do it right. Jessica's in-laws lived in a McMansion in West Hartford. The driveway was packed with cars. I could hear laughter and music coming from the backyard. I grabbed my gift and walked around the side of the house. The backyard was decorated like something out of Pinterest. Pink and gold balloons, a dessert table that could feed an army, a backdrop for photos, and in the center of it all, Jessica, holding court in a flowing pink maxi dress, her hand resting on her pregnant belly. She saw me before I saw her. Her face went white, then red. I walked up to her with my biggest smile. Jessica. Congratulations. I'm so sorry I'm late. Traffic from the city was terrible. The conversations around us died down. People were staring. Jessica's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Sarah. What are you doing here? I came to celebrate with you, of course. I'm so sorry about the confusion this morning. When you called, I was in the middle of a huge meeting, and I was so shocked to hear you were pregnant. I hadn't seen any of your posts about it. But I left work right away because family comes first. I held out the gift. I hope you like it. Her mother, Aunt Monica, appeared at her elbow. Sarah, I thought Jessica said you weren't coming. Oh, there was just a mix-up. My fault entirely. I've been so swamped with work that I haven't been keeping up with social media like I should. But Jessica's my favorite cousin. I wouldn't miss this for the world. I could see the wheels turning in Jessica's head. She couldn't call me out now, not in front of all these people. Not when I was being so gracious. That's very sweet of you, she said finally, taking the gift with shaking hands. Thank you. The party continued, but I could feel the tension. People kept looking at me, whispering. I stayed for exactly 1 hour, made small talk with relatives, took photos for the designated photographer, and then excused myself gracefully. As I was leaving, Aunt Monica caught my arm. Can we talk for a minute? Privately. We walked to the front of the house, away from the party noise. I owe you an apology, she said quietly. After our phone call, I asked Jessica to show me the invitation she sent you. She got defensive. Then I asked to see her phone, to see if maybe she'd accidentally left you off the Facebook event invite. She paused. Sarah, you're blocked on her Instagram. And you're not on the Facebook event list either. She never invited you. I nodded slowly. I know. Why would she do this? And then call you, angry that you didn't come. I don't know, Aunt Monica. I honestly don't know. She looked back toward the backyard, where we could hear laughter and music. I confronted her about it just now. She started crying and locked herself in the bathroom. Her friends had to coax her out. She turned back to me. I think you two need to talk. Really talk. I don't think she wants to talk to me. She does, trust me. She's scared. Scared of what? Aunt Monica gave me a sad smile. Of not measuring up to you. That night I got a text from Jessica. Just 3 words. Can we talk? I called her. She answered on the first ring. I'm sorry. Her voice was small, nothing like the angry person from this morning. I'm so sorry, Sarah. Why did you do it, Jess? Why block me and then get mad at me for not knowing? She was quiet for a long moment. When she finally spoke, her voice was thick with tears. Because I wanted you to feel like I've been feeling for the past 5 years. What do you mean? Do you know what it's like watching you succeed at everything? You got into your dream grad school. You got your dream job. You live in New York City, for God's sake. You're presenting to Fortune 500 companies while I'm showing houses to first-time buyers who can barely afford a down payment. Jessica, at Thanksgiving, everyone asks about you. How's Sarah doing in the city? Did you see Sarah's company won that award? Even my own mother talks about you more than she talks about me. And I wanted you to feel invisible for once, the way I always feel next to you. My throat tightened. I had no idea you felt that way. How could you? You're too busy being amazing. She laughed bitterly. And the worst part? You don't even see it. You don't see how everything comes so easily to you. Jessica, my life isn't perfect. I work 70-hour weeks. I haven't had a serious relationship in 3 years. I'm so stressed I can barely sleep. And you know what I think about when I'm lying awake at 3 a.m.? I think about how you have everything I want. A husband who loves you. A home. And now a baby on the way. I've been trying to get pregnant for a year. Silence. What? She whispered. I've been going to a fertility specialist for the past 8 months. Derek and I weren't the only ones who got married young, remember? I was married at 26. Divorced at 28. And now I'm 34 and single, and my doctor says my egg count is low and I might have waited too long to start trying. The words poured out of me. So when you talk about me having everything, you're wrong. I look at your life and I see everything I'm afraid I'll never have. Jessica was crying now. Really crying. Sarah, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. How could you? We stopped talking to each other. Really talking. I was jealous. I was so jealous of you that I couldn't even be happy for you. And that made me hate myself, which made me resent you even more. I was jealous too. I just hid it better. We both laughed through our tears. I'm a terrible person, Jessica said. What I did today was awful. Blocking you, setting you up to look bad, making you the villain in my story. That's not who I want to be. You're not a terrible person. You're human. We both are. Can you forgive me? I thought about the missed pitch, the confused colleagues, the hurt I'd felt. But I also thought about all those years of friendship, all those childhood memories, all the dreams we'd shared. Yeah, Jess. I can forgive you. I don't deserve it. Probably not, I said. But I'm giving it to you anyway. That's what family does. Can you come over? Tomorrow? I want to talk in person. I want to really talk. I'd like that. The next day, I drove back to Connecticut. Jessica opened the door looking exhausted, her eyes still puffy from crying. We hugged for a long time on her doorstep. Over coffee at her kitchen table, we talked for hours. Really talked, the way we used to when we were kids. She told me about her struggles with the real estate market, her fears about being a good mother, her insecurities about Derek's long hours at work. I told her about my divorce, my fertility struggles, my loneliness in a city of 8 million people. I'm going to be a godmother, right? I asked, gesturing to her belly. She smiled, genuinely this time. Are you kidding? Of course you are. If you still want to be. I want to be. I'm having a girl, she said softly. I was going to announce it at the shower, but everything got so chaotic. A girl. Jessica, that's wonderful. I want to name her Morgan. Morgan Elizabeth. That's beautiful. Elizabeth is for you. Your middle name. If you're okay with that. I felt tears prick my eyes. I'm more than okay with that. We spent the rest of the afternoon planning. Not just the nursery, but us. Weekly phone calls. Monthly visits. A promise to be honest with each other, even when it was hard. Especially when it was hard. As I was leaving, Jessica grabbed my hand. Thank you for showing up yesterday, even after everything. Thank you for not giving up on me. That's what family does, remember? She hugged me tight. I love you, Sarah. I love you too, Jess. 6 months later, I sat in a hospital room holding my goddaughter for the first time. Morgan Elizabeth was perfect. Tiny fingers, tiny toes, a shock of dark hair just like Jessica's. She's beautiful, I whispered. Jessica, exhausted but glowing, smiled at me. Thank you for being here. Always. My phone buzzed. I glanced down at it, then looked up at Jessica with wide eyes. It's Dr. Chen. My fertility doctor. She wants me to call her. Jessica grabbed my hand. Call her. Right now. I stepped into the hallway and dialed with shaking fingers. Sarah, Dr. Chen's warm voice came through. I have good news. Your latest round of tests came back and we're seeing some very promising results. I think we should move forward with the treatment plan we discussed. So there's a chance? A real chance? A very good chance. I hung up and walked back into the room, tears streaming down my face. What did she say? Jessica asked anxiously. She said there's hope. Real hope. Jessica started crying too. We sat there together, her holding baby Morgan, me holding her hand, both of us crying happy tears. Your baby is going to have a cousin to play with, Jessica said, squeezing my fingers. Maybe, I said cautiously. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I have a feeling about this. A really good feeling. I looked down at Morgan, sleeping peacefully in her mother's arms, and felt something shift in my chest. Hope. Real, genuine hope for the first time in months. Me too, I whispered. Me too. A year later, I got another phone call. But this time, it was me calling Jessica, my voice shaking with joy. Jess? It's positive. The test is positive. Her scream of happiness was so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. I'm coming over right now, she said. Don't move. Don't do anything. I'm coming over. She showed up at my apartment 30 minutes later with Morgan in a baby carrier and a bag full of baby books she'd saved for me. I knew it, she said, hugging me tight. I knew this would happen for you. We spent the afternoon planning, just like we had when she was pregnant. Only this time, there were no secrets. No resentment. No jealousy. Just two cousins, best friends, sisters in everything but blood, celebrating together. Morgan toddled over and pulled on my leg, looking up at me with Jessica's eyes. Mama, she said, pointing at my stomach. Jessica and I looked at each other and burst out laughing. Soon, I told Morgan, picking her up. Soon you're going to have a little friend to play with. Jessica took a photo of us, me holding Morgan, both of us grinning like idiots. For the baby book, she said. So they can see how excited their cousin was to meet them. She posted it on Instagram later with the caption, My best friend in the whole world is going to be a mom. I couldn't be happier. Family isn't just who you're born to, it's who shows up for you. And Sarah always shows up. Number godmother goals, number best cousins, number family s everything. I was tagged. Of course I was tagged. In the comments, Aunt Monica wrote, two of my favorite girls, so proud of both of you. Rachel wrote, about damn time. Congratulations, Mama. And at the very top, with the most likes, Jessica had pinned a comment she'd written herself. I'm so grateful my daughter gets to grow up with Sarah in her life. Some people are family by blood. Some people become family by choice. Sarah is both. I read it 3 times, tears blurring my vision. We'd come such a long way from that angry phone call during the Johnson pitch. The pitch I'd eventually rescheduled, and won, by the way. But that didn't matter nearly as much as this, sitting in my apartment with my cousin and goddaughter, planning playdates for babies not yet born, laughing about the messy, complicated, beautiful thing called family. My phone buzzed. Another notification from Instagram. Jessica had tagged me in her story. I opened it. It was a throwback photo of us as kids, maybe 7 and 9 years old, arms around each other, gap-toothed grins, wearing matching best cousins t-shirts. The text overlay said, "Then and now. Always." I screenshot it and sent it to her. She replied immediately, "Save it for when our girls ask why they're named after each other." I smiled. Named after each other? Well, yeah. If you're having a girl, you're naming her Morgan, right? We can call them Big Morgan and Little Morgan. I laughed so hard I snorted. I'm not even sure I'm having a girl yet. Woman's intuition. Trust me. It's a girl. And what if you're wrong? Then we'll figure it out. Together. Like we do everything now. Together. Like family should be. I looked at Morgan, who had fallen asleep in my arms, her tiny fist clutching my shirt. I thought about the baby growing inside me. I thought about Jessica, who had gone from my biggest source of pain to my greatest support. I thought about how close we'd come to losing each other completely, all because we'd forgotten how to talk. Life is funny that way. Sometimes the people who hurt us the most are the ones who needed us the most all along. And sometimes, if you're lucky enough and brave enough to push through the hurt and the pride and the resentment, you find something on the other side that's stronger than what you had before. Jessica and I had been through the fire. But we'd come out as gold. And our daughters, because yes, my intuition said it was a girl too, would grow up seeing that. They'd grow up knowing that family means showing up, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. They'd grow up understanding that love isn't perfect, but it's worth fighting for. 9 months later, I gave birth to a healthy baby girl. I named her Elizabeth Morgan. When Jessica came to meet her, she took one look at the hospital bassinet nameplate and burst into tears. "You didn't have to do that," she whispered. "I wanted to," I said. "Elizabeth for me, Morgan for you. Our daughters will carry both our names." Together, she climbed into the hospital bed beside me, careful not to jostle the baby, and we lay there like we used to as kids, shoulder to shoulder. "We're going to do this right," she said. "We're going to raise these girls to be each other's best friends. No jealousy. No competition. Just love." Just love, I agreed. And we did. We kept that promise. Through playdates and birthday parties, through preschool graduations and first days of kindergarten, through dance recitals and soccer games, through every milestone and moment, big and small, we showed up for each other. The girls grew up calling us the moms, not because they couldn't tell us apart, but because to them, we were a unit, a team. Where one went, the other followed. On their 5th birthday, because yes, by some cosmic coincidence, Elizabeth and Morgan were born on the exact same day, 5 months apart, we threw them a joint party. The theme was best cousins, and we dressed them in matching t-shirts just like the ones Jessica and I had worn all those years ago. Someone at the party, a mom from their preschool, pulled me aside. "I have to know, how did you and Jessica get so close?" I barely talked to my cousins. I looked across the backyard at Jessica, who was helping the girls blow out their birthday candles, and smiled. "We almost didn't," I said honestly. "We almost let pride and jealousy destroy what we had. But then we remembered that family isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, even when it's messy. Especially when it's messy." "That's beautiful," the mom said. "It's true," I replied. That night, after the party ended and the girls were in bed, Jessica and I sat on my back porch with glasses of wine, watching the sun set. "Do you remember that day?" she asked. "The baby shower day?" "Every detail. I was such a nightmare. You were hurting. I almost lost you. But you didn't. We didn't let that happen." She raised her glass. "To not letting it happen." I clinked mine against hers. To showing up. Always. We sat in comfortable silence, the kind that only comes from years of real friendship, real honesty, real love. My phone buzzed. A text from Rachel. Saw the birthday pics on Instagram. Those girls are getting so big. And you and Jess look happy. I showed the text to Jessica. She smiled. We are happy. Yeah, I said, looking at her. We really are. And we were. Because we'd learned that happiness isn't about having perfect lives or being better than each other. It's about showing up for the people you love, even when it's hard. It's about choosing connection over competition. It's about remembering that the people who know you best, who've seen you at your worst and love you anyway, are worth fighting for. Jessica and I had fought. For our friendship, for our family, for our daughters' futures. And we'd won. Not because we were perfect, but because we refused to give up on each other. And that, more than any career success or personal achievement, was what I was most proud of. That's what I'd tell Elizabeth someday, when she was old enough to understand. I'd tell her about the day her godmother and I almost lost each other. About the angry phone call and the baby shower drama. About the jealousy and the pain and the pride. But mostly, I'd tell her about the love that was stronger than all of it. The love that showed up. The love that stayed. Because that's the kind of love that matters. That's the kind of love that lasts. That's the kind of love I hoped she and Morgan would always have for each other. And judging by the way they were sleeping right now, in Morgan's bedroom at Jessica's house, curled up together in a nest of blankets and stuffed animals, matching best cousins' pajamas twisted around their little bodies, I had a feeling they would. Some things, I thought as I watched them sleep, are just meant to be,